Be introduced Bill Clinton and Melania Trump. Those are the two spouses of these two presidential candidates.
Yeah, I mean, and we talk about how Hillary Clinton is the first female to head a major party presidential ticket. In addition to the unprecedented nature of Donald Trump, we also have the fact that a first spouse would be a former president, something that we have never seen in this country before.
And then after that, we're going to be hearing from Lester Holt, the NBC News anchor, who's the moderator of this debate. The pressure is enormous on him.
Enormous on him, and you know, he obviously has been, as the debate commission co-chair said, keeping his own counsel. But one thing that I thought was really fascinating, and it's important for our viewers to remember, is that when they start, they're each going to speak for 2 minutes, but then there will be a time when Lester Holt is going to pull back. It's in the rules, and the two of them are going to actually debate. They're going to go at it. They're going to have 10 minutes to go, you know, sort of head to head in whatever way they want, on whatever issue they want. And so that, I think, is going to be so telling as to how they interact with one another, what topics they choose to use, and the kind of tone and tenor that they take with one another.
And I'm curious to see if this crowd here will remain silent. You heard the warning, no applause, maybe when they're all introduced at the beginning, at the very end. But I'm curious if the 1,100 people here, a lot of partisans, are going to heed that advice.
That's right. I mean, the debate hall here at Hofstra University is full, but you heard the co-chairs of the Presidential Commission, the Commission on Presidential Debates, really admonish them, keep it quiet. This is not a primary debate. This is not a caucus debate. Have respect for the two individuals on the stage.
Anderson, we're only moments away from the start of this debate.
That's right. 8 minutes, 30 seconds or so. Let's get some final thoughts from our panelists. Just David, in terms of a cheat sheet for viewers at home, what are you going to be watching for? What do you encourage them to?
Well, I think we've set up, everybody's set up the parameters. How does Trump do in terms of the sort of basic mastery and temperament test? And does Hillary Clinton connect? Those are going to be the connect in a very human way and give people a sense of her motivation. Those are going to be the things that I'm going to be looking for. And then, you know, the nonlinear things, the reaction shots, how someone reacts to an unexpected...
The moments,
those moments that we talked about before, yeah.
You know, it's a magnifying glass for them when you have that split screen. And we're on a large panel here. Not everybody's looking at every time we yawn or roll our eyes or whatever. And I think that this is something that's difficult for someone to master if you really haven't been constantly under that kind of scrutiny before. Donald Trump was on a panel of 16 or 17 other candidates. Hillary Clinton has been there before. She knows how to do this, and it'll be interesting to see Donald Trump and perform.
Yeah. And how they trying to reach out to particular segments of the electorate, college-educated white women, for instance, for Donald Trump. He's struggling with those folks. And Bernie Sanders supporters. I mean, a lot of those supporters are parked in those third-party slots with Gary Johnson and Jill Stein. Are they going to reach out to those folks? Because that is what I think is really limiting Hillary Clinton's ability at this point to pull away.
Themes have carried him thus far. Jeffrey is right to say that was Roger Ailes' advice to Reagan in '84 before the Mondale debate, but the rules have changed, and as we've discussed extensively here, these 15-minute pods, I want to see the final 30 minutes. I want to know, what does he still have in his tank to speak with specificity on the issues? If he can do that, it'll be a good night for Donald Trump. Otherwise, it'll be a better night for Hillary.
Jeffrey?
He's got television skills, and I think that's going to play a real role in this. She does not. She's just been a political figure. I think that could play a role in this, and I expect him to do very well with it.
Yeah, I'm looking for that connection moment. I think sometimes we underestimate Donald Trump. We recall when Ted Cruz had the New York values line of attack, and Donald Trump flattened that when he talked about 9/11 and his experience and how New Yorkers rose to the occasion. I think we're going to see that Donald Trump come out tonight very strong.
Van?
I hope Hillary Clinton uses the Republicans' words when she challenges him. In other words, you got 50 Republican security experts who are against Trump. Even Cruz would not say that he thinks Trump is fit for office. Rather than her attacking, just quote the Republicans who are still so uncomfortable with this man's leadership. I think that's important.
There's an enormous battlefield that I think Donald Trump has left open for Hillary, and that is the future. When your slogan is "Make America Great Again," that's inherently backward-looking. Yes, she's been on the scene for 25 years, but I think tonight she can say, here are my ideas for the future.
Former President Clinton being introduced, as well as Melania Trump, Donald Trump's wife. Family members also coming out. There was the Ivanka, her husband Jared Kushner.
That's so hard right
should
now.
point out also
so hard for those people.
Not the first time they have met. Bill Clinton attended the wedding of Melania Trump to Donald Trump, along with Secretary Clinton as well, family members. It is something candidates like often to see their family members sitting in the front row. It wasn't clear whether Bill Clinton was going to be. He often likes to be backstage watching on television.
I can tell you, he doesn't want to be sitting out there. He's proud of his wife, but this is
let's listen.
NBC Nightly News. You can welcome him now.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you. Good evening. Nice to see every seat is filled. There was some question whether we'd have enough interest for tonight, but I guess we've taken care of that. Mrs. Trump, President Clinton, good to see you. Good to see everyone. That thud you heard backstage was the sound of my knees buckling when Frank mentioned a potential audience of 100 million. But it's just us tonight. And in a moment, it'll just be the three of us and hopefully just the two of them. That's what it's all about. As you can imagine, this is not an easy job, so I'm going to ask your help tonight. You heard the admonition. If you could please refrain from clapping and booing or reacting in any audible way, that would make my job a lot easier. And I know the American public would appreciate it because we really want to hear what they have to say tonight. And I'm happy to be the one facilitating that conversation. So what's going to follow are some awkward moments of silence. I'm going to take my seat here in my office for the evening, and I'll give you a 1-minute warning when we're about to come up on the air. And then no fancy lights or musical opens. We just go to it. So thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy the debate.
All right, they're getting ready, Jake. The stakes could not be higher. What do these two candidates need to do?
Well, for Donald Trump, he needs to show himself as somebody who can be trusted with the presidency. We've talked about this all night, that many voters have concerns about his temperament, and he needs to show the American people that he can be restrained, he can be in control, he can behave the way they expect an American president to behave. Hillary Clinton has spent a lot of her campaign trying to delegitimize Donald Trump, disqualify him. I think you'll see her continue to do that tonight, and that will probably be her primary task as well.
And, you know, they're going to be on camera. This is 90 minutes without commercial interruption, but they'll be in a split screen. So when Donald Trump is speaking, we'll see the reaction of Hillary Clinton and vice versa.
That's right. And when it comes to Donald Trump, so much of what he expressed in the primary debates was without words. It was with his facial expressions, lots of facial expressions, to make a point, to maybe vamp, to mock his opponents, to do all kinds of things and send various signals. Is that person going to come? Has he been practicing his poker face or practicing to minimize that when he needs to? Unclear. And same goes for her. She's obviously much more experienced at the one-on-one debate, much more experienced at being on camera all the time. I mean, she has been for a while, but sometimes you can see when she's irritated. So the question is whether or not she wants that to come out.
And we're just a couple of minutes away from the start of this debate. Anderson, back to you.
Incredibly exciting and no doubt tense moments for the candidates. I think it's going to be starting in about 3 or 4 minutes. You know, David, every candidate has a different kind of way they prepare for it, and even particularly in these final moments. How much of this is about opening statements? I mean, how much do they prepare those opening statements?
Well, I think both campaigns, if they're preparing correctly, know what they want to do when they get out there. They know what the first plays are, what the language is. It's very important to start quickly, make a big impact in the first 15 minutes, because a lot of folks who are writing stories on this campaign are going to begin composing their impressions of the campaign almost immediately. Twitter is going to be
that was something that John F. Kennedy did against Richard Nixon very effectively. He basically kind of defined early on, and Nixon basically just responded.
True, but it's more than that now because of the lightning speed at which these things get judged. You know, back in 2012, we knew within 10-15 minutes that we had lost the debate against Mitt Romney because the media reaction and the punditry
think they're each going to try and make a large impression right away. And whether it's Hillary Clinton challenging him on something like birtherism right away, or whether it's Donald Trump challenging her in her emails, as Kayleigh was talking about, right away, they're going to play to their base, and then they're going to try and broaden it out, I would think. But I think you've got to do it immediately in this day and age.
He needs to remember, primary season is over. That which brought him thus far cannot carry him all the way to the White House. It could, in fact, hurt him if he plays some of the same cards that were successful in that season.
They both also have to be very well aware at this point of what voters they still need to reach.
Exactly. You know, there may be 6 to 15% of folks who are undecided. And it's a very diverse group of people who are still undecided. Some